Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my 8th question and answers video answer segment type of video leading up to the premiere for The Walking Dead Season 6. In this one, we're going to start with a question. Trev, what would The Walking Dead be like if we had fast zombies? So instead of walkers, runners? Okay, so I think it's a good question for people that have seen movies like 28 Days Later. By the way, if you like that movie, I have done a review for it. It's in the channel. Just click the channel name, use the search tool, and just type in 28 Days. I never did one for 28 Weeks Later. If you guys want to see a review for that, I guess I could do that. I can oblige. Since this is summertime now, the off-season, so to speak. Also, I intend to do some more zombie movie reviews like Day of the Dead and that. So, may do that later. We'll see. But wanted to answer this question is we touched on it briefly in the past, but that was like 2 or 3 years ago, and so got this question recently in the the channel again. Somebody messaged me. Sorry, I forgot to write down your name, the person who did, but I think it's a good question. So what would The Walking Dead be like with fast zombies? So 28 Days Later, rage type, sprinting, running type zombies. And we kind of get the sense that if you look at like the first season, the zombies change throughout The Walking Dead. The first 2 seasons, the zombies behave differently than they do at like any time after that. They're kind of more similar to the original George A. Romero Dead zombies, but they seem to be faster too, to a degree, especially when they're in packs and they're kind of pushing off each other and stuff like that. But they're not runners. Runners are like your sprinters, like A Day of the Dead, the remake, if you guys remember from the, forget what year it was, in the 2000s. And you have, like, as zombies get infected with the rage or whatever, just like in 28 Days Later, they're sprinting. You got them like sprinting down the street after people. Or they're jumping and, flying at people. I think World War Z has fast zombies too, doesn't it? Because you have zombies that are jumping off rooftops and stuff like that. Which, to be honest, is pretty cool to see. It looks pretty cool. And I do think that it makes sense that zombies may behave with reckless abandon. We haven't seen too much of that in The Walking Dead. We haven't seen too many zombies put themselves in jeopardy or, fall off rooftops or so. That'd be kind of something cool they could probably do in the future, as we've never seen it. And it would make sense that they would in fact do that. They would put themselves at risk as they're, as they're trying to, get food, as they're trying to grab somebody or kill somebody. But definitely we don't see any running, sprinting, jumping, lunging zombies for the most part. And if we did, because of the fact that The Walking Dead is fairly realistic, I used to say that a lot more than I do now, because I don't know, sometimes it feels realistic, sometimes it doesn't. With regards to Terminus and them being captured in that, is it entirely realistic that they'd get away? Probably not. They'd probably be dead. If this was Game of Thrones, they'd all be dead. We'd be following the story of Gareth or something. He'd be our Bolton for The Walking Dead. So he'd be the new lead, right? Is seeing him eat people and everything. Brutal. But yeah, if we had fast zombies, like truly fast zombies, everybody would be dead, man. Everybody would be dead. There's no way. Like at the beginning, okay, for a little while, maybe. But if you look at like the first season when Rick's in the tank and all that, even right then and there, as he's like, he's under it and all that stuff, everything like that. If he came out at any point in time and tried to run down the street, it just, in a fast zombie world, it just wouldn't work, right? Or the guts trick. As soon as the zombies found out in the guts trick that Rick and was it Glenn who was with him? I forget. That's way back now, like the first season. They would be all over him. I mean, they would run, but those zombies would run too, and you got to think they would probably catch him at some point. And even the camp, like from the very first season at nighttime with fast zombies, oh my God, you'd be useless. Before you know it, they would be all over you. Before you could even get your guns, they would be like, you remember Ed, in the tent? But it would be like that with everybody, because, in the dark as you're trying to look and, you're trying to get a shot, you might be able to take a few out, like Shane, and Rick, because obviously they're really good shots and everything because they're, trained and, police officers and everything. But for the most part, I mean, there's no way the group would be able to survive for the long run. You can look at so many different, points in the series, even season 3, when Daryl saves Rick when he shoots the walker with, as Rick's holding them off, or even just now with Glenn, the end of season 5 when there's 2 and he's like holding one and holding the other. If those things came sprinting in at him and jumping at him, holding him off, the force probably wouldn't work. He'd probably get bitten right away. So it just, with fast zombies, that's the thing, and with fast zombies is that if that was true, nobody would make it, And to The Walking Dead, to a degree, when they first turn, their muscle tissue's intact, they are a little quicker, it seems, than when they're older and they're more decayed and everything. And I do like how they kind of show that. If you remember Andrea's death, right, with Milton, that's a good example of how that can happen. Somebody just turns and they come right at you right away, and all their muscle tissue is intact. Then they would be able to move better than later on when they're all scraggly and they're missing parts of their muscles and all that, and they're pretty useless, and they're a lot easier to kill now in the series than in season 1, I think. But yeah, fast zombies definitely wouldn't work. That said, maybe Fear the Walking Dead will get faster zombies than what we're used to in season 5 of The Walking Dead, since they've all slowed down so much. But anyway, those are kind of my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about the concept of runners. If they call them walkers now, if they were runners, yeah, I would call them runners. And there's no way it wouldn't work. So okay, let's move on with some of the other questions that you guys have. This one's from Chuck Berry, and he says, in a previous video you explained why the military lost, or why I felt like they did, or they would have, but are we entirely sure that there isn't a military base of some kind left? Because in the video game The Last of Us, for example, there is still a small group of soldiers and scientists operating in a small secret base. And if there are scientists left, there's always hope. I know The Walking Dead is about the characters, but I love the episode in the CDC and the Eugene storyline. Do you think they will cover any of this again, or is the Cure storyline buried forever now? So I think that's a great question. Is the Cure storyline just done forever? Okay, so I would suggest to you, Chuck, you can actually watch Day of the Dead on YouTube, I think. I'd suggest you check it out. Greg Nicotero's actually in it. So that's funny, because he does all the zombies for The Walking Dead, right? Which is cool. But yeah, I think he did a lot of the zombie effects for Day of the Dead. But that's basically the storyline for Day of the Dead, the movie. You can watch it online. I definitely recommend you check it out. And what it is basically it's the same type of universe. It's not the same, but it's the same type. It's the universe that The Walking Dead is inspired by or based on, which is George A. Romero's Dead series, right? And it's about a group of soldiers and scientists who are in a bunker, underground. They have a helicopter they can lift out. They have enough supplies to last for a while. You have like a general and some military guys. Then you have a scientist. There's one of them in there. He's like Dr. Frankenstein. He's like experimenting on zombies and that. And that's where the zombie Bub came from, who had a special appearance in season 4, which was really cool, The Walking Dead. So I would say, definitely check out Day of the Dead, man. I'm going to write it down actually after this video. I'm definitely going to do a review for that. I'm pretty sure I haven't done one yet, but like I said, almost 2,000 videos. Sometimes I even forget what I've done, what I haven't as the years go by. It's like 3 years later, boom, this many videos. Sometimes I forget what I've done and what I haven't. But yeah, I would definitely say check that out, dude, because that kind of gives you a scenario. That's like, this is what it would be like in The Walking Dead. Now, granted, it's Dead, so it's not The Walking Dead, but The Walking Dead is based on Dead. So, it's not the same universe, but it's like it is. Especially Greg Nicotero worked on both. So that'll give you a good idea of what it would be like. But I think with regards to the original Walking Dead, I think the whole Cure storyline is done. After Jenner, like you said, after Eugene with the CDC and that, I think that pretty much establishes that the whole Cure idea is done with The Walking Dead. I think that zombie Cure idea with World War Z and some other movies like that, maybe Resident Evil, you've got a lot of different weird stuff going on in there and different biological weapons and stuff. I think those are their own genre. They're made for that. And with regards to Walking Dead, it's like Day of the Dead, and there's no magical. I don't want to think of a cure as magical, but there's nobody that's immune. There's nobody that there's no possible cure, and I don't think we'll ever see it again. I think it's buried now, dude. I think it's done. But great question, though. That's an awesome question. And keep sending me your guys' questions. Keep sending them to me. I'll keep adding them to the Q&As, and we'll keep right on going. Let's do a couple more. This one's from William Coakley, and he says, I got a question, Trev. In your personal life, have you ever had a friend like Daryl or Rick, or have you met someone like them? So, fun little question. Well, I read this the first time as like Daryl and Rick's friendship, because if you remember in season 4, as he calls him like his brother, basically, right? So that kind of like so close that they're like brothers, right? And in my own personal life, oh yeah, I mean, when you're growing up, especially when you're in high school, when you're in grade school, maybe college, university, depending whatever you do, or in trades or whatever you're doing. Yeah, definitely. You develop some friendships like that where because I personally, I'm the only male of I have sisters, but I don't have brothers. And so, developing really close friendship with other, friends, other male friends, definitely you get that kind of brotherly connection over a few years, or just if you meet somebody you really connect with, or, you get that companion, like connection with people. And you can get, it can be a male and female too, like usually your significant other, if you have a good relationship. Like with me, for example, Jess, we've been together, like 10 years now, and, she's like my best friend too, right? So, we're together like that. And then, we obviously, we have friendship as part of it. I mean, if you have a strong relationship and you're together with somebody for 10 or more years, or not even, even a year or two, or depending, it doesn't really matter. It's really nice to have people, and that's part of what makes life great is having people and caring about people and family and, relationships like that. So, of course, with me, but lately I would definitely say I hang out with Jess more than anybody. So definitely have, a friend in that capacity. Whoever you are, like your significant other should pretty much be your best friend, because you spend more time with them than anybody else. Oftentimes people live together and that. So, but yeah, definitely. I've had lots of friends over my life that, have been like that. So it's cool. That's a cool question. I've never been asked a question like that. But nowadays I don't spend too much time hanging around with friends and that. Obviously hang around with Jess and family and that, but because I work, and then I work on the channel a lot, so that takes up a lot of my time. But definitely when you're younger, you're in high school and that, and throughout life, you're going to have some really strong bonds, and I think everybody does, unless you're super introverted and you just don't like to. But I feel a strong bond with you guys too, so. I hang out with you guys so much, talk with you guys so much, answer questions and comments and everything. We talk about this. I'm very happy. I'm very fulfilled. Anyway, moving on from there, because it's not all about me, So next one's from Emilie Lindberg. And she says, "Hey, Trev, big zombie greetings from Denmark." Sweet Denmark. I love it. I have a video suggestion topic for you. What are the funniest moments on The Walking Dead in your opinion? Even though the show is very serious and dark, some funny moments do occur from time to time. Love to hear your thoughts. Best regards. So yeah, I like a lot of Daryl's stuff throughout the series. I think Daryl's stuff is usually the most funny. Like the season 3 premiere when he yells up in the watchtower to Glenn and Maggie and asks Glenn if he's coming. That's funny. And there's a few little things here and there. The Walking Dead, there's not too many. Better Call Saul, even the first season of Better Call Saul, probably has more jokes than all The Walking Dead together. But there are some funny moments in the Walking Dead as we go through, like when Glenn what season was that? Was it season 5 or season 4 when he goes into the shop and he trips over stuff and then he goes out and they ask him if it was a walker and he says yeah, and then after he admits it's not. So there's some funny moments throughout the series, but it's mainly a dark, sad, gloomy show. But probably my favorite joke would be that one in the watchtower, probably. Let's think of some others. Just some of the early stuff that he says. Like at the CDC when he tells Jenner, your head ain't, after he tells him what the door's made of. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, see, sometimes it gets fuzzy logic when you're thinking all the way back to like the beginning. I haven't seen, I think I watched the first season a couple years back, but man, you forget pretty quickly the specifics, that's for sure. All right, we'll do one more. Next one's from James Martin, and he says, do you hope no set pictures get released while they're filming due to the show getting spoiled? And for season 6, are you going to keep away from spoilers as much as you can? Big fan. Good job, Trev. So James. So we'll finish with this one. No. Okay. So here's my deal. This is the way I want to explain. I like to explain everything because people otherwise they talk smack about me in comments or in forums and stuff, and they say, oh, blah blah blah. It's like, well, why don't you just ask? I can explain the situation. It's not that hard. So okay, during the season, I don't like spoilers. The reason why is because Noah, for example, spoiler warning if you're not caught up, Noah and Aiden's death is a great example where that got ruined like 3 or 4 days for me before I saw the episode. And I was hoping it wasn't true, and then as I saw the episode, I knew it was true because we saw it, and I was like, well, damn it, now I know Noah's going to be killed in like 5 minutes or something or soon. And it just takes the suspense out of it when you know who's going to die exactly. That for me is no fun. But I'm okay with seeing, as they're working on it through the summer, with seeing what locations they're going to be at, maybe which characters are going to be involved, if certain characters are going to return, stuff like that. That's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I like to see that stuff. Like before season 4, when we got to see the big spot and stuff like that, and season 5, just different locations and different things that are happening. And I do videos on those during the break, during the summer. It's before, in between the season, when the season is running, that I don't necessarily like Shane's death being spoiled. Shane's death was spoiled for me. Noah and Aiden's death were spoiled for me. Oh, man, so many others. Andrea's death was spoiled for me. I mean, well, kind of. I didn't believe it when someone told me. Like, someone in the comments had said that, and I didn't believe them. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. And even when I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, bullshit. There's no way. And then they actually did kill her. And I was like, holy shit. So I was still surprised. But do you see how sometimes, and then sometimes I hear false ones, right? And they're not true. Because I see so many damn comments and news and everything, right? And speculation and all that. So I'm okay with it during the summertime. I like to see the locations, and I do videos on, if Gabriel's going to be there. Like last year I did one for him, and we saw him with Rick, and I'll do little videos like that during the summertime, because it's like, okay, we kind of have an idea what we're looking forward to. But, if it's like a big death or something that gets ruined for me, that irks me. That does irritate me. And I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, because all of you are, watching this video right now. You go online to watch Walking Dead stuff. And I'm sure you guys can relate, and it's happened to you lots of times. Some things you kind of are interested to know. Other things you're not. I try to put everything through a filter. So it's like, okay, I don't want to put Tyrese's face in this thumbnail for episode 9, because then people in the UK are going to know Tyrese died. Why would I use him as a thumbnail? So even with my thumbnails, I'm pretty careful nowadays to use Rick burying him instead, but you just see Rick's face, right? I did that on purpose, and if you guys remember, if you were subscribed to the channel at that time, in that review, I did that on purpose because I don't want to let people know inadvertently that certain things are going to happen. Even still, there's spoiler phobes out there that say, oh, you did this and blah, blah. So I do some things to try to prevent that from me contributing and being a part of that. But I will do some videos, and I don't have a problem with showing some Spoil the Dead location shots and things like that. Because that's not like a big, like, oh man, you ruined it, they're going to get to Alexandria. It's like, we all know they're going to get there. It's part of the storyline. We know that. So it's not a big deal. But if they're going to kill off Andrea or Shane at that episode and it gets ruined for me, that sucks. So definitely, minor things I like to do videos on and talk with you guys about, especially during the summer. But if I find out about any major deaths, I try to avoid it. Sometimes I'll talk about it anyway because people are asking me to. It's hard. It's hard to kind of play that middle ground where you can't be too extreme on either side. Otherwise I don't make Q&As and I don't make enough videos, and I don't talk about stuff people want to hear. I kind of have to be in the middle. I have to try to. I think you guys understand where I'm going with this one. Is I have to try and decide, okay, this is okay to talk about. People will think this is cool, but with that, if I find out Shane's going to die, definitely not going to post that. Stuff like that. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at now with it, and I try my best. Sometimes I might let you guys know there's going to be a couple of deaths upcoming, but then other times I might hear there are and there aren't, so you can't really go by that either. So I think that's about as best as I can go there. I know spoilers is just like leaked episodes is a touchy subject, right, with spoilers. But yeah, definitely this summer, as news comes out, if Spoil the Dead releases some stuff and somebody shows me something real cool, like a good location or something, I'll definitely show you guys, let you guys know about it. I don't have a problem with those because I don't think you're going to be upset that I let you know, oh, a location is going to be in the show. No. But if it's a major death, I try to keep it to myself. I try to put a lot of warnings first and then, talk about it. So that's where I'm at with that. But let me know what you guys think about all of that, all the different questions. Check out Day of the Dead if you've never seen it and you want to see that kind of cure, bunker, government, military scientist type side. There's a lot of that in Day of the Dead. It's my favorite zombie movie. Walking Dead is my favorite zombie anything, but, in terms of movies, because there's never been a Walking Dead movie, one day, hopefully there will be. I think there will be eventually. But they should do that. AMC, get on that. Make an actual movie. It doesn't have to be Rick and the gang. Just make a movie on something. Get David Morrissey. Give us the governor starting out. That would be a sweet movie or something, Check out Day of the Dead. Let me know what you guys think about Fast Zombies. Let me know what you think about the idea of a cure. Those are my thoughts on it, and also spoilers. Like I said, I think that's my explanation for everything. I think you guys get what I'm saying. Anyway, if you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it. Please favorite it. And that's it for today's, guys. I may see you tomorrow. As always, it's Trev saying peace. See you guys.